Good morning. Happy Monday. Good to be back with you all today. Good to see you this morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. We'll rejoice and be glad in it, snow or no snow. The only thing I know is that his mercies are new every morning. I just got a fresh batch of mercy today. He woke me up. He started my heart. I have eyes to see, ears to hear, legs to walk. I'm grateful for the goodness of God. It's day 9 of our challenge. We're in 30 days. Your next move now challenge. This challenge is meant to help you get ready for what God wants to do in your life in 2026. I'm confident that 2026 is the year that God changes your story. It's a defining year. He's going to change your story and he's going to change you in your story. And so we are covering principles and practices that will help you make your next move and respond to God's next move in your life. We're working from this acronym, the word MOVE. And last week we were talking about mindset, shifting our mindset, getting our mind in a position where we agree with God when God starts to speak to us. This week we're talking about order. I told you last night that we need order in our lives, that order is what allows our lives to function the way that God intended and created us to function. I told you about the restaurant my wife and I went to where nothing worked. We had to leave because we had all these expectations about what we could do that we could not do at that restaurant. And so order is being in a place where you can function the way God has ordained you to function. And the good news about that is that the Lord is ready to bring order to your life. You've been trying to do it for years, maybe decades, and you haven't had much success and you beat yourself up. Our task is actually to pay attention to where God wants to bring order in our lives and be responsive to God's ordering work. Thanks be to God for the finished work of Jesus. We've been restored to God, and now we can receive God's work and respond to that work. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 through 3 says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was moving over the surface of the waters. Then God said, 'Let there be light,' and there was light." One of the first things that the Lord will do, this is our topic today. One of the first things that the Lord will do in your life to bring order is he will bring illumination, revelation, insight, understanding, clarity. God says, first thing God says is turn on the lights, turn them on. He wants you to be able to see. Okay, this is a principle, I believe. I believe when we look at the Genesis account, what God does in creation is what God wants to do to reset our lives. All right, so illumination, exposure. Before God continues creation, he first exposes its condition. So the question is, what is God exposing in your life? Now think about it. You've got an area of your life. Remember we talked about last night, tovu vavovu, right? We talked about that Hebrew word that means formless and void and empty, right? There's an area of your life that may feel that way, that darkness is over the face of the deep. Could be your finances, could be your relationships, could be your health, could be your ministry, could be your purpose, could be your vocation. There feels like chaos. There's no structure, there's no order. You don't know what you're looking at. I believe that God wants to help give you insight and illumination. And God wants to expose some things. Now, some of us don't like that word, exposure. And we talk about, I don't want nobody to know my business. I don't want my stuff to be out in these streets. You think about exposure in a different way, okay? Exposure allows us to see what we could not see. Exposure is the same process. Back in the day, we had our Polaroid cameras and we take that roll of film out the camera, 24 shots of film, take it to the pharmacy, and they would send it to the developer, and the developer would take it into a dark room and expose it to a very special kind of light that would bring forth the images. And so God is developing some things in your life. Part of that process is exposure, helping you to see what he sees and to see what's going on in your life the way that he sees it. So today, I want to challenge you. During a moment of pause, I want you to invite the Lord to reveal anything in your life that needs attention. So you're going to think about that area of your life. Could be your finances, could be your habits, could be your relationships. And say, God, what do I need to see? So, God, am I experiencing chaos in this area because of a decision that I made? Is this area void because there's some chaos that I've allowed to continue? Is there a boundary that I haven't drawn, Lord? Whatever it is, would you illuminate my understanding? Would you shed light on my situation so that I can see what you see? You're going to do that during a moment of pause today. It may not come through the first moment. That's okay. During your next moment of pause, pull out that journal. Remember last week we talked about mental hygiene? You're journaling now, right? So pull out that journal and pray. Remember mental hygiene? You're not just sitting there staring off into space. Ask the Lord to speak to you. Ask the Lord to bring something to your mind. Ask the Lord to help you go back over your past few weeks and months. What has been coming up in prayer? What has been coming up repeatedly in sermons? What has God been using people to speak to you about? God's been trying to illuminate some things to you. Say, Lord, make it plain for me. Help me to see. And as God reveals to you, I want to tell you three things. Number one, be receptive. Please be receptive. Please don't fight God when God starts trying to show you what he needs to show you. Don't pretend like you're not seeing what God is showing you. God wants to expose it to you so that you can do what you need to do. Psalm 36:9, in your light, we see the light. Ephesians 5:13, everything exposed by the light becomes visible. God wants to bring some things into your visibility, okay, so that you can see. Because you cannot work on the revelation that God wants to bring into your life until you first posture yourself to be receptive. Receptivity is the posture that allows revelation to do its work. So stop resisting, stop hiding, stop explaining it away. Just receive what God has to say. Secondly, I want you to be reflective. Sit with it. Don't gloss over it. Don't rush past it. Feel it. Think about it. Consider what the Lord is revealing to you. Reflection is how revelation becomes transformation. Because as you meditate on what the Lord is showing you, you begin to see how the Spirit of God is hovering over that area of your life. All right. So be receptive, be reflective. Think about it. When you journal it, come back to it and say, God, you have anything else to say? And be responsive. Say, Lord, when you start speaking to me, I know that it will require a response. I know, Lord, that being responsive is how this illumination brings order to my life. So set it in your heart now at the beginning of the week that when God reveals to you what you need to see, that you're going to follow and trust His Spirit to take action. So today, during a moment of pause, pray, invite the Lord to shed some light on those areas of chaos, those areas of emptiness, those areas of darkness in your life, and watch God speak to you in a powerful way. All right. That's it. That's your assignment for the day. I pray the Lord bless you as you do it. Lord speaks to you, opens the eyes of your understanding that you may see. Meet us right back here tomorrow, 7 a.m. Drop in the comments how this is blessing you and what God's doing in your life as you're working these principles and these practices. All right. See you tomorrow, 7 a.m. Have an amazing day. God bless.